Hi, Mike from Heartland Pergolas with the next step, how to install your purlin holders onto your rafters. Now it's important to think about which way your purlins are tilted to make sure that you're going to provide the maximum amount of shade. So if you need to flip these around, go ahead and do so. In this case, the sun's coming from this direction. We're going to make sure our purlins are tilted back this direction. So the first thing I'm going to do is grab my tape measure and double check the length of my rafter. In this case, it's 120 inches. I'm going to go ahead and measure my purlin holder. They're usually just a little shorter. And here it's 116 inches. Now these purlin holders are trimmable. One thing you have to do is make sure that if you're going to make a cut, you do it directly between one of these holes because you don't want to end up with half a hole left over. So once you know your measurements, 116 versus 120, I know I'm going to have 4 inches left over. 2 inches on this end should give me 2 inches down here. And it does. Now I'm going to grab my fastener bag labeled purlin holder to rafter, grab a bunch of those and stuff them in my pocket. And the purlin holders come pre-drilled, so no need to drill these holes unless you make a cut on the holder and need another hole. So I'll hold that down tight, stick my extension in, and that's on. Now, for the sake of time, I'm not going to screw down every single one of these purlin holders, but you can notice there's a little bit of curve to this holder. When you're screwing these down, make sure that you center up that purlin holder over top of your rafter so there's no offset there. Once I get one side mounted, I'm going to skip my middle purlins. I'm going to come all the way over here to the outside edge. I'm going to repeat that step down here. Okay. Set this in 2 inches. I'm going to make sure my purlin holes are tilted the same way. They are. Install my first screw. Same thing down here. Make sure to center it up. Now, once my outside purlin holders are screwed down, the inside purlin holders, I want to make sure I get lined up perfectly with the outside purlins. Reason being is I'm going to slide all these purlins through, and I want to have the most minimal amount of effort in doing that. If I don't line up my purlin holders, those purlins can be a little tricky to push in. So to do that, I use string line and a clamp. Come over here. I'll clamp my string line to this side. Pull it tight and clamp it to this side. It's okay if it deforms that a little bit, it's not going to hurt. Once I have a taut line here, I'll set the rest of the purlin holders almost touching that string. Making sure it still moves freely. Next purlin holder, I'll do the same thing. Once those are set, I'll screw them all down. And again, I keep my plugs in my back pocket here. Make sure to put my plug in the top to cover up each one of those holes. Once your purlin holders are installed, you're ready for the next step, installing the purlins. For more information about our pergola products, go to heartlandpergolas.com and download our written installation instructions. Thanks.